Folks, welcome back. My name is Rudy. You're watching Alpha Investments, and obviously our first Lego video was such a dramatic response from the public. That was like an intro to Lego. I think that video is like 75,000 views already. I figure we're going to have a follow-up. So today, we're going to discuss a little bit of vintage Lego. One of my favorite sets, Lego 6077. The infamous, where's the name? The River Fortress. And we're going to discuss this particular set, and we're also going to go over some of the most common questions in the Lego world, which is about when to buy. What about there's nothing stopping them from reprinting Lego sets or pulling them out of retirement and redoing it. So first, let's address a couple things, and we'll bounce to old stuff and come back. So first, yes, Lego does sometimes, they go back in very iconic sets. They remake a new version of the set. So, for example, they'll redo an old castle, and they'll make a new version of course, Forestman's River Fort. They'll make a new version of this with a new set number, and they'll make a brand new version. So they will reprint. I guess that's is it reprinting when you're making Lego bricks? I don't know if that's like a reprint. I don't know if that's considered. I don't know. So overall, people who collect and love the originals, they're still going to want the original. There's a very small subset of people who really, they're not going to say, oh, what year is this thing? This 1989. No one's going to say, oh, they're making a new River Fortress here. I'm going to just go ahead and throw my 1989 set away. I don't think that really matters that much, because I'll be honest with you, I don't even know if there's like, I don't even know if there's like 100 of these left in the world that are actually brand new. Like the rarity of the old stuff is extraordinarily low. Now you can go online, buy a bunch of used pieces, you can rebuild the set with different pieces, you can buy used kits and everything all day long, but I'm talking about actually brand new ones. So when we look at new Lego sets, remember, historically, pre-2020, a Lego set would be made, they would announce it, they would usually leave it available or out, in production for usually between, I'd say, as little as 6 to 12 months and as long as a couple years. Again, just like with collectible card games, just like every other industry, you have no real way of knowing. The Lego company is going to take into consideration, what brand is it? Is there a brand new Marvel movie that's going to come out? Is there a new Harry Potter movie? Is there a remake of Indiana Jones? They're going to take in the modern culture on whether or not they should redo something, they should keep it available longer, or simply put, are they just selling the living hell out of it? I mean, is it on, most Lego sales in 2023 are usually taking place at like a direct Lego store, their own stores, or from independent big box stores, Walmart's, Target's, and of course, Amazon. Amazon probably accounts in the United States, in my personal opinion, oh my God, I would say at least 10%, maybe even 20, even a quarter of all Lego sales in the US probably are Amazon direct. And again, when it says sold by Amazon, shipped by Amazon, that is Lego Corporation. Similar to Magic the Gathering, dropping off, pallets of one particular set, and they control the markdown and pricing. They probably work with Amazon directly. I don't really want to go into pricing too much in this video. We'll save that for another video. But I think it's important to understand there is no set formula for how long a Lego set will be readily available. So, similar to the CCG world, if you know a product's going to be in print or available for 2 years, if you buy it on day one for a full 100% of MSRP, well, you're guaranteed, G-word, to have no price appreciation for a minimum of 2 years. Historically, similar to the card, you're going to notice a lot of overlaps between these industries. Once a Lego set is retired, usually you have a 6-month, maybe 12-month, maybe it's only 3 months. You're going to have then a kind of flush out, cool off period, and that's the period where Lego's not making anymore, but distribution, Amazon, Walmart, Target, your local, you get the idea. Every store is going to have inventory that they're going to be wanting to get off the books to make room for new Lego sets. That's just kind of how it works. Now, Lego stores, Amazon's, Walmart's, Target, these companies are not in the business of sitting on product. They want to buy, if a Lego set is $100, historically, store cost is similar to the card world, which is going to be on average around that 55 to 65% MSRP. So the average store, if you have your own toy store and you're working with Lego distribution, you're going to be paying on average 60% of MSRP. So for every $100 Lego set on your shelf, your cost is going to be around $60. Now, once again, I'm going to be very blunt with you all. Absolutely nobody should ever, in their lifetime, consider opening a toy store, Lego store, brick and mortar store in 2023. I'm sorry if you do. Not only will you ruin your passion for Lego, but you are going to guarantee yourself, G word again, guarantee yourself a life of disappointment, a life of Wendy's dumpsters visits, a life of depression and tragedy. Because once again, you're talking about carrying items that take a lot of space, have low turnover, and you have to deal with overhead in 2023 and running a business. Now, I don't want to get into pricing too much. We'll stop at pricing there. So when we go back to looking at the values of sets, okay, some people in the industry like to say, well, how many bricks are in the set? You know, is it, I don't know, what's a good example here? Let me grab something. Let me grab something newer. Is this new? Here. I don't know if this is new. Is this new? What is this? Harry Potter 75, 955. Looks like a train station. This is a random set I grabbed. Okay. So whatever the MSRP is of this, I can tell you right now, it's an 800-piece set. A lot of people say, okay, well, 800-piece sets, you know, some people say, what's the cost per brick? How many minifigures? Remember minifigs? Minifigures are pretty much these little fellas and young ladies. How many characters do you get inside of it? What is this one showing? What, 6? A lot of people have formulas. In my opinion, I've never been a big fan of saying, okay, 800-piece set, we got 6 minifigs. This should be MSRP of 100. Anything with 20% off, you know, the world famous Lego 20% off. That's like the famous thing in the industry. Okay, this thing at $80 plus tax, that's where you want to be based on the number of pieces, based on the number of minifigs. I mean, yeah, I'm not personally a fan of approaching Lego like that. Just being, I'm not a fan of that kind of approach, okay? Because when you look at like the, where's the Lego, the art or the dot set? There's Lego art and dot series, where some of the pieces, if you're going by raw piece count, it's like, bro, a bunch of little dots or a bunch of small pieces compared to a very big complex set. You can't really compare piece to piece as the same quantity and value. So you know, like what here? Let me give you guys here behind the camera here. Hold on a second. Let me show you something. Oh, I want to knock the camera over. Hold on. So we got a giant. So this is the Lego monster roller coaster. Actually, it's like a functioning roller coaster. This is really heavy, so you're not going to get one. So this has, you can see Lego set 10303, and there's 3,756 pieces. Now I believe this sucker retails for like, I don't know, some outrageous $400 or $500 because it's an absolutely insane Lego set. Because it's not only the roller coaster, but you have all these little areas at the bottom, the kind of little shops. You have a ton of minifigs, accessories. Sorry, this thing's just too heavy. I'm putting it down. So a set like that has under 4,000 pieces and only a couple minifigs, you're gonna say that's a $500 set? What a ripoff! Like the number of pieces, that, you know, but you know the type of pieces get more unique and expensive per piece compared to basic sets. It also gets a little bit different because we can get in. We're not going to get into this video, but there are whole online marketplaces. Looking at you, Bricklink. We'll talk about that in other videos. I'm not going to turn this into a Lego channel, but I'll try to do like 1 or 2 Lego videos a month, and we'll just kind of sprinkle them in. But there are pieces that are what they call uniques to a Lego set. So that could mean if you got this old Lego 6077. Let's say that this particular dartboard, or not dartboard, like an arrow target for the bows, for the archers, maybe that particular piece is unique to this particular Lego set. So what happens is when you have a piece that's exclusive or unique to one set, that one piece on the secondary market can be selling for $10, $20 for one flipping piece. Okay? There are certain minifigs and pieces, which, oh, by the way, so I love this set so much. I actually have 3 brand new of the old Forest set. Just want to share that. But, you know, because my favorite personal Lego thing is the Castle, Forest, Pirate, Caribbean type series. It is just it is my pet peeve. It's nostalgia as a kid, and I just think it's a very, I don't know, I love building structures and things like that versus some basic vehicles, or like I showed you guys the other video, like an Overwatch, and like it doesn't do much for me. Here's another vintage Overwatch that came in like a collection I bought from with a bunch of things. You know, I'm not personally like a huge fan of Overwatch. You know, this is a vehicle with some minifigs and characters. It looks like we got a little structure back here. You know, I'm not a huge fan of that. What do we got here? Another Overwatch from, of course, world famous Blizzard. We got some, actually looks like some mechs and some characters here. Again, not a huge fan. Over here, we got some Minecraft. Again, I'm not a big Minecraft fan. I'm not even a fan of the way Minecraft builds its structures, the way they do that certain look and pixelated feel. I'm not a huge fan of it. I think my favorite part is the minifigs with like the pixelized swords and things. But overall, I don't like the generic, non-detailed structures. It just does absolutely nothing for me. I'm not a fan. I don't care for it at all. But then when we have other things, I know I'm all over the place in the Lego video. Let me show you, when we have other things, and we go back to, you know, Home Alone, we got a Home Alone series number 21330, and this is 3,955 pieces. And you not only do you build a structure, a treehouse, you have minifigs, you have a vehicle, but inside the structure, you actually have to build each unique room and set the booby traps. The roof comes off. It shows you, it actually compartmentalizes, and you actually have all these unique details from the movies and historical pieces of the rooms, the Christmas lights, you know, the hot little door handle, the pizza, you got staircases. There's a lot of unique things that add to it, that to me, you're building a structure with character and unique components that also represent some historical, cultural from the actual film and movie. Now again, that's a Lego Idea series, you know, and I think the Home Alone house, I think I bought that, I don't remember, like that's just under 4,000 pieces, and I don't know what the cost of that is today, but I'm sure it's expensive, and I think it was like $250 back in the day, maybe, I don't remember, but it was still expensive. So there's a little bit of timing when it comes to Lego, because you can try to kind of stall, like, okay, this set came out in 2020, it's 2023, it's still selling on Amazon, MSRP, maybe it's 20% off, like every Lego set does. You know, maybe that's your time, it's at the end of its life cycle, so the probability of something happening is higher than the probability of buying it at release. That's kind of one way to approach something like that. So I'm not a fan of pricing Lego and establishing value based on quantity of pieces. It's a rule of thumb. You can kind of use that as saying, okay, 1,000-piece set, you know, actually, you know, $100, $80, you can kind of have a ballpark. But again, once a Lego set ages, you start to run into the situation that you run into with sealed booster boxes and sealed product in the collectible card game world, where the older the sealed product becomes, the more the value detaches from the quantity of pieces. Okay? So, do I have like a small old set nearby? I don't think I do. I mean, these are the very old, but I mean, I could, you know, we can. Like, here's a really cool thing, man. Old Lego set, 6244. A boat, like a little island, like a little castle, like the boat would go through the castle in the water. This is a very, very old, looks like a Lego Islander series or Imperial Armada series. Again, how many pieces is this? 70 pieces. So obviously, a new set like this in 2023, 70 pieces. I mean, this should be like $9.99, right? Or maybe $19.99. I mean, this sealed, in my opinion, is probably a couple $100. So it's 20, 30, 40 times original cost or MSRP and things like that. So again, when it gets really old, the piece and value establishment gets very murky. It really kind of goes away. You can't use it anymore. And then, before we wrap this video up for the day, when we talk about different Lego series, like for example, Technic, Lego City, there are certain Lego series that tend to be Lego company. Well, like the Lego City series tends to be more expensive per piece than the Ideas or the Creator series or Ninjago or Monkey Kid or something. So you have certain series that are priced different over other series. A lot of people also say, Rudy, always stay away from Lego City, Lego Technic, the car series. Always go for certain unique, Star Wars, Marvel, DC stuff. Go for unique stuff. And not always big. Go for a lot of smalls, go for the smalls, as they call it. And yes, the kind of the lingo is smalls, plural, which means smaller items, not very large items to ship or handle. These are all different rabbit holes we can discuss in the future on here. I'm mostly just kind of jumping around and just having some conversations with you guys because we've never done that with Lego before. But the conclusion of this video is Lego is very complicated. It's simple on the surface. The more you dig into it and the more you care about it and the more you have a passion for it, the more you're going to realize that Lego becomes very, very complicated and very expensive very quickly. And that's kind of really about it for today's Lego kind of discussion. I think the biggest thing to remember is Lego is very unpredictable. No matter what anyone on the internet says, no one can predict which Lego set is going to go up and which is going to do well, which is going to tank. Well, historically, Rudy, all of these, the Technic's always the weakest. Now, those old certain Indiana Jones and Castles and Bionicles, and now they always outperform the City series. There are some generic rules of thumb, but at the same time, usually things that outperform tend to have a story attached to them. Maybe that particular series was underprinted. Maybe it was canceled early. Maybe it didn't sell worth a crap and they canceled. They just dumped it. Maybe there was a licensing agreement. Maybe there was a fallout between two entities or parties. There's always so many possibilities that can cause for things to happen. I like before I end the video, it's like Commander 2017 and Magic the Gathering. This particular set of cards was made, and everyone says, Rudy, that's like a $5, $6, $7. It's like $1,000 set of Commander decks now. And I say, okay, but that doesn't mean it's repeatable. That was a one-time unique Black Swan event where the second wave was like destroyed in a warehouse fire or something. And then some of it went missing. In other words, outside variables influenced that pricing you see today. It's not something that's predictable, repeatable, or something you can plan for. And that is something that you can kind of say, look, Rudy, I predicted that this unique, I don't know what I just grabbed here, the Lego house, this special limited series, I'm telling you, this is going to be like a $5,000 thing because of the ABC, and here's my rationale. No matter how confident you are, it's the same thing with the card world. There's things in the card world with Magic or Pokemon or Weiss or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Flesh and Blood or MetaZoo or One Piece or all this Disney Lorcana, to the moon. There's all these things that on the surface, you gotta get a vibe for what's going on and how wound up people are. But remember, that can change at any time. No matter how positive everybody is on Disney Lorcana, all it takes is for wave 2, 3, 4 to hit, and a bunch of supply hits the market. And all the people hoarding or speculating, oh no, Rudy, they're all just playing the game. Of course they are. All it takes is for something to shift. And all of a sudden, everybody's passionate becomes everybody's most toxic asset. And you have to be careful. So again, if you love Lego and you want to collect Lego sets, remember, number one, you better love it. And you better have a passion for it. And long term, if you happen to make money with it, that's a fantastic story. But you should always buy into things knowing that even if it never goes up, you're happy because you love the item. If you have no passion for collectibles, then what are you trying to make money with collectibles? Sorry, I hit some metal. If you have no passion for it, then at the end of the day, just put your money in the damn S&P 500 and wait 20 years. You'll do fine. But if you want to have fun and it be a passion for something and diversify, then collectibles, just like real estate, just like crypto, just like cash, CDs, bonds, stocks, these are all different categories that you can blend together. And long term, as a whole, you should do pretty good, and you should have fun doing it. That is the purpose of all this stuff. That's all I have, folks. Once again, thanks for watching. Have a beautiful day. Penis.